August the 26th, 2019. Guys, a quick update on the tropics. You're looking at Barbados, and this is kind of the island that's out front when you look at the leeward and the windward islands and that curve that they make as you enter into the Caribbean. But there's one point island that's furthest towards Africa, and it takes the brunt of any system coming in. We're looking at a live webcam from Barbados, and at the end of the video, we'll look at a couple more. It'll take about 30 minutes or so to put this together. But just off there, we have a rapidly developing system. It's we have Dorian at 60 miles an hour. We'll take a look at it, and you can tell by the wind and the waves things are picking up. But guys, the last few radar images from the satellite and infrared, you can tell that there's a massive explosion right in the center of this storm of very high clouds. It's telling you that it's intensifying, and it's getting to that point to where will be in the predicted waters. But if you see the curve of these islands, there's one right out front that's already under the cloud cover, and that's Barbados, and that's where we were just looking at. But notice right in the center of the storm, you have a very large area of expansion. Now, it almost looks like a cavity is there, but it's a uplifting of clouds, and there's Barbados, and it's starting to kind of encompass that area. It's also in the kind of rough side of the storm, so as it increases, conditions will go down there, and it's a large resort area, guys, and all of these islands are, so they're going to, as it goes through the night, it should emerge, and sometimes tomorrow, we're going to have a Cat 1 hurricane if nothing, again, if it's left alone, let's just put it like that. But right in that center in the last few frames, that's a very large explosion of storms. Right there, check that out. And that's what you're seeing start to push those winds in on that Barbados webcam. Now, if you look at it in infrared, you can see it. We go through the day in the last few frames, starting right there. There's that explosion of storms. And basically, it's almost on Barbados. By the time you watch this video, that island will start experiencing more and more thunderstorms. Still, we have on our offshore disturbance, number one, 90% chance of cyclone formation in 48 hours. Guys, it has been pumping moisture north for several days now, and people are getting inundated. But it says conditions appear conducive for additional development, and a tropical or subtropical cyclone is likely to form later today when the system moves further out. Now, Dorian is at 60 miles per hour, 50 knots, moving west-northwest at 14 miles an hour, 1,002 millibars on the pressure. Now, this cone has lifted slightly north. No longer is it at the southern tip of Florida, which it could go there because anywhere within this cone, it will. It's where they're predicting the center to go. It's not the size of the storm, but somewhere within this cone. And the models are showing it going more into central Florida. You see this? And more than likely entering into the Gulf of Mexico, somewhere around the Tampa area. These will change. Now, some models have it dipping down, scooting between the Florida Keys and Cuba. But most of the models, again, are central Florida. And the purple line is the Navy model. We'll take a look at that. Again, this was the 4 p.m. update Eastern Time. Here is the model. This is NAV, Jim, or the Navy's model. Now, that's September 3rd is when you're seeing it setting in the center of Florida. So from September 1st, going up until then, we'll have to keep a very close eye on it. Also, low-pressure system coming off of Africa, according to these models. But again, as it stops, you're at September the 3rd. It's already come ashore. Here, you've got the storm in the center of the nation. You're watching here are the remnants of the disturbance that was in the Gulf. You guys in Alabama are catching it, and we're getting it more and more this afternoon, flash flood warnings. And this disturbance that has been down in the Bahamas, guys, has continued to pump moisture all the way north, and that's where you see that moisture is going in. There's where the storm is predicted to come in. Now, you're going into different imaging here from daylight to dark. And you can see that explosion just as it approaches Barbados. That's the point island that always catches it first if they're coming in this lower edge. It's predicted to pull right up through the Dominican Republic into that area. The mountains will shred it some, but it's supposed to remain a Cat 1 through that area. We'll just keep an eye on it. Again, looking at the images, you can see in the last few frames that the center is reorganizing. Now, what I want to do, it's to put this together, guys. It took about 30 minutes, although I'm coming back and putting the narration on it now. I'm going at the end of the video and looking around Barbados itself, that forward-pointing island, just different resort cams, and you can see that it's building up here, especially in the right of the camera, is where the storm is coming from. More than likely, that area is where we're seeing that explosion. Again, your center right in this camera. But guys, we're watching something else. Don't forget, we are entering a solar wind stream. It has been very low, so it's going to be a sharp increase, and it's already starting to affect our planet. So watch for earthquakes. We'll do a fuller update on that. I got a couple other things I want to talk about. But guys, right now, this is the Dorian updates. It's a heads up. Be safe.